adjective to describe the people. So people, and we know that people, it looks singular, but it's actually a plural. There are many nouns in English that are strange like this. They look singular, but they're actually plural. So, okay, so we know now, okay, this is the first thing. We know it's a plural noun. So this is the real subject. And then the second thing, we try to determine if it's a fact or if it's testing us on the present perfect, or if it's testing us on the perfect tense. So how do we do that? Where are the clues? We learned if we, huh? For hundreds of years. So this is telling us time. It tells us that started hundreds of years ago, and until now, up to now, it's still considered to be true, right? So that's why, and if you say, okay, have enjoyed chocolate in many forms for hundreds of years, that means that it started in the past, and until now it's true, but you're not sure if in the future it will be. But if you say, have been enjoying chocolate for in many forms for hundreds of years, that means it started in the past, it is true now, and you want to emphasize that it is true now. And you are confident that it will continue into the future. Understood? Any question about this one? Okay. So then, together, let's go. The second one, let's read it together. 1, 2, 3. Originally begun by the Aztec Indians of Central America, the cultivation of cacao beans, from which chocolate is made, has spread around the equator. Has spread around the equator. Yeah, equator. Okay, so who wrote has spread? What did you write? Give me some answers. What did you write originally? Spread? Has spreading? Has been spreading? What did you read? Well, what did you write? Sorry. I have.
Has been spread.
Has been spreading. Okay. What else? Any other answer? Okay, so basically, the reason why, again, it's always the 3 steps. Which one is the real subject here? Good. How do we know that? What are these sentences? How did you find out that cultivation was the real subject?
I thought the cultivation of cocoa means originality beyond sentence is not right.
It's not right. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, right.
The meaning is weird.
Yeah, so I thought this sentence, what is first of all subject and verb and object or something. So the cultivation of cocoa beans is the most
Likely.
Yeah,
The most possible.
Yeah.
So do we get that? So basically, yeah, what Yoshio said was correct. So basically, you try to, because whenever there's a lot of commas in English, it's a relative clause. Relative clause meaning that, okay, it is a sentence that is used, a lot of times it's used to describe the real subject. So we see now that here, at least because of the commas, there are at least 3 parts, right? That could be the real subject. So yes, one way to do it is to just read through the different parts and then try to combine them. See if they match with the verb. See if the meaning makes sense. Another way, another clue is to look at the sentence that comes before it. What is, so before it, the first sentence was, okay, people around the world have been enjoying chocolate. So we know that, okay, when you talk about topic sentence, you know that this whole thing, this whole paragraph is talking about, you know, how people have enjoyed chocolate. So you know the second sentence usually, when we read text, is something that is used as a support, evidence to support the first topic sentence. Does it make sense? Okay. So, okay, another clue that we can try to get is the term originally, this word. This is like a sign word, right? The signal word, signal word. It's like a clue. We know that something happened before. Yeah, it originally started off like that. And now what? And basically it's saying that now it's kind of, how to say, there has been a development of the event since the Aztecs started developing. So, okay, so basically first of all is, we know the subject is the cultivation of cacao beans. So we can determine, okay, no matter what comes afterward, to help our judgment, we can say, okay, this is a third person singular verb, right? And then we have to decide, okay, is this a fact or is it not a fact? And the clues, one of the clues is by looking at the word originally, knowing that when we see that word, we know, okay, this is a hint, because this is something that started in the past. And because, to be honest, because this whole exercise is about practicing the present perfect progressive, and the simple present. So basically, the whole point of this exercise is to be able to distinguish what is the truth, what is not, what is the fact, or what is not. So if you see something that says, okay, originally it started somewhere in the past, then you know that, okay, now it's the present perfect. Do we understand that? Okay. Okay. Do you have any question? Okay. Okay. For this question, yeah, the answer could be, the correct answer is has spread. Some people may have the answer as has been spreading. The reason why we use has spread is mostly because because basically, okay, one very important clue is the Aztec Indians, they don't exist anymore. So that's why we know that it's not going to continue into the future. That's why it's just a fact that happened in the past, and it's a fact in the present. But the cultivation of cacao beans, it's kind of, because just the subject itself, if you just look at the cultivation of cacao beans, yes, you could argue, you could say, okay, you could use has been spreading, because the cultivation, it could spread into the future, right? In the future, it could still change. But one clue that you look at it is because the Aztec Indians of Central America, because they're not there anymore. So they're not really there to influence the change of the cultivation. So that's why we don't really use that present perfect progressive.
Is correct?
Huh?
Has been spreading is correct?
No, not in this sense, because not in this sentence only. The reason why is because, because the cultivation, if you don't look at the first phrase, right? If you don't look at the first sentence, if you only look at the second phrase, the cultivation of cacao beans, from which chocolate is made, has been spreading around the equator. If you say like that, it's correct. But because there is a first part of that sentence, because it starts saying originally. So it's something that started in the past. And then also another hint, another clue is that it says Aztec Indians of Central America. Because Aztec Indians were in the past, they don't exist anymore. So it's very hard to say that they will still continue to influence the future. Because when you use has been spreading, it means that it's happening now and it may also happen in the future. And that's why the Aztec Indians are not there anymore to influence the future. That's why we use has spread. Okay? Alright, so the third one, together, cacao trees now provide jobs and income for people from Africa, the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, and the South Pacific Islands of Samoa and New Guinea, mentioned here. Okay, so the answer is provide, but who has another answer? Has been providing.
I had to be providing.
Had been providing. Okay. What else? Do we have anything else? Okay. So, again, so what is the subject of this sentence? It's always the 3 steps. First of all, try to find out the real subject. Second step, try to find out if it's a fact or if it's not a fact. And then third, you try to figure out, did it happen, are there any signal words, any hints to say that, okay, this happened in the past or not? Is it going to affect the future or not? So 3 steps. So the first step, okay, cacao tree. So the real subject is? The trees. Yeah, the cacao trees. Okay. So because of that, so we know that they are plural. So therefore the main verb will, the conjugation will have to follow the third person plural, they, the trees. Yeah. And then is this a fact? How do we know?
No.
Yeah, that's a very important clue, actually. I mean, I underlined this handout, so you can tell from the handout. But if it wasn't for the handout, what I'm trying to do here, I mean, the things that I underlined were words. They are all words that are, they're basically talking about the time. All these words that I underlined, you know, for hundreds of years in question number 1, question number 2 originally, now question number 3, now. These are all, they all have to do with time. So those are the clue words, the hint words, signal words, as they call it here in the textbook. So you have to look for these. And then you can decide, okay, oh, if it's something now, then you think, okay, it's something now. So now you have to think, is this a fact? Or is it something they're talking about that will probably affect the future? The thing is that, so Gia, you wrote had been providing. The reason why we didn't use that mainly is because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Because if you use a progressive, yeah, if you use providing, if you use the progressive, you are saying that, okay, it's happening now, there might be a chance that it will happen into the future. But the thing is that we don't know about it. We are not sure that in the future it will be for sure. And then also the form that you used. So Gia used, instead of has been providing, Gia used had been providing. This is something we will teach later, But just to let you know, what is the difference between